It's a cold January night in northern Italy. The streets are dark, the world is quiet, and one man is standing alone, holding a strange tube made of wood, glass, and hope. He raises it to his eye, and in that instant, everything humanity believes about the universe begins to crack. Not with an explosion, not with an announcement, but with four tiny points of light dancing around a distant planet. Welcome to Earth Sights on This Day series, and today we're going back more than 400 years to one of the most important nights in the history of science. On the 7th of January, 1610, an Italian mathematician and astronomer named Galileo Galilei pointed a homemade telescope at the planet Jupiter. What he saw that night would quietly dismantle centuries of belief, challenge the authority of the Church, and permanently change how humanity understands its place in the cosmos. This wasn't just a scientific observation. It was a turning point for human thought. Because for the first time, evidence, not philosophy, not scripture, not tradition, was about to take the lead. And remarkably, this world-changing discovery began with a child's toy. To understand why this moment mattered so much, we need to step back into Galileo's world. In the early 1600s, Europe's understanding of the universe was built on ideas that were over 1,400 years old. At the center of everything was Earth. Literally, the dominant belief, taught in universities and reinforced by religious doctrine, was the geocentric model. The idea that Earth sat motionless at the center of the universe, while the sun, moon, planets, and stars all revolved around it. This wasn't just astronomy. It was philosophy. It was theology. It was order. Humans were special because Earth was special. And Earth was special because it was central. To challenge that idea wasn't merely to challenge science. It was to challenge meaning itself. Galileo Galilei wasn't born a revolutionary. He wasn't trying to overthrow religion or provoke authority. He was born in 1564 in Pisa, into a world that valued ancient knowledge above new ideas. At first, he studied medicine, not astronomy. But numbers, motion, and mathematics fascinated him more than anatomy ever did. Galileo believed something radical for his time, that nature could be understood through observation and measurement, not by quoting Aristotle, not by repeating tradition, but by testing ideas against reality. That belief alone put him on a collision course with history. In the summer of 1609, news began to spread across Europe about a curious invention from the Netherlands. A simple tube with lenses at either end. When you looked through it, distant objects appeared closer. At first, it was little more than a novelty. Street vendors sold versions of it in marketplaces. Children played with them. Merchants used them to spot ships before they reached port. Galileo never even saw the original Dutch design. He heard about it and immediately began experimenting. Within weeks, he had built his own version and then improved it. Soon, his telescope could magnify objects more than 20 times. And unlike others, Galileo didn't point it at ships or buildings. He pointed it at the sky. What Galileo saw shocked him. The moon wasn't smooth and perfect. It was rough, mountainous, scarred like Earth. The Milky Way wasn't a cloud. It was made of countless individual stars. The heavens, long believed to be perfect and unchanging, were suddenly messy, complex, and dynamic. But none of this prepared him for what he would see in January 1610. On the evening of January 7th, Galileo turned his telescope toward Jupiter. At first glance, Jupiter appeared as expected, a bright disk in the night sky. But beside it, he noticed something strange. 3 tiny points of light. They were arranged in a neat line, all on the same side of the planet. At first, Galileo assumed they were distant stars. But something bothered him. Their alignment was too perfect, too precise. So he did what no philosopher before him had done. He checked again the next night. On January 8th, the points of light had moved. They were still near Jupiter, but now they were arranged differently. One was on the opposite side of the planet. Stars don't behave like that. Night after night, Galileo observed. The lights moved back and forth. Sometimes 2 on one side, 1 on the other. Sometimes all on the same side. Eventually, a fourth point of light appeared, and slowly, the truth became impossible to ignore. These objects were not stars. They were orbiting Jupiter. If you love stories where science, history, and human curiosity collide, make sure to subscribe and share this video with someone who looks up at the night sky and wonders what's out there. Because the universe is still full of surprises. And this story of discovery began with a toy.